Our cars and homes are flooded with devices from cell phones to tablets, computers and more. They're being used for work, play and anything in between by both adults and children. How important is it for us to keep track of what our kids are doing on these devices, and where do we draw the line between spying and concern? To help me answer these questions, I'm joined in studio by e-safety specialist Mark Curry, who's also the managing director and founder of VirtuNet, a supplier of online safety solutions. Welcome, Mark, and thanks for joining us on the show today. Is it okay for parents to put their heads in the sand like the proverbial ostrich and hope that their kids are going to be safe online?
Unfortunately, Nikki, that's not a good idea. And whilst, we talk with many parents around the country, and I have some parents say to me, I was BBC, born before computers, and they kind of overwhelmed with this sort of influx of new technologies, the ever-changing technology landscape, which they don't understand.
It's quite difficult to keep up with all those changes,
Exactly.
which I think is part of the reason why people just say, oh, well, let the kids do what they like.
Exactly, and as you've mentioned in your book, which is a fantastic resource that I very much recommend, technophobia is something that sets in, and parents do tend to adopt that ostrich mentality. But unfortunately, as we protect our children in the real world and we have real boundaries, we protect them in our homes, in our schools, we put boundaries in place. So we need, and to teach them to be responsible digital citizens, we need to do the same in the online world.
So a little bit like, for example, your child brings home a friend for a play date and you really think this friend is bad company.
Yes.
You would do something about that.
Absolutely.
So what you're saying is we need to make sure that whatever apps they're using, whatever
Correct.
they're accessing online, whether it's a mobile device or an online device at home, that we actually treat those visitors
Yes.
into our children's lives almost as real people. And
Absolutely.
we take cognizance of the fact that they impact on our children's behavior,
Yes.
on how they respond, how they react, and then we need to perhaps take action. So kids today are smart, aren't they? I mean, parents know that they can activate parental controls on devices.
That's right.
They come stock standard as part of Google, their safe search and mobile devices, etc. But, tell us a little bit about how kids circumvent these things.
Well, the problem is a lot of the sort of solutions that are put out there by the various vendors and service providers are inadequate. For example, a lot of the mobile service providers that have a parental control solution have a sort of single profile that's either too restrictive or not restrictive enough. It doesn't lock in safe search functionality on all your major search engines, Google, Bing, Yahoo, and so on. It doesn't give the parents any reporting or control as to sort of, how they can manage the device. Some will have an application that's loaded on the device itself, and they have to manage it on the device itself, and therefore it's kind of, sort of seen as infringing on your child's privacy to say, hey, give me your phone and let me check your settings. So whatever you have to have something that's not managed via the device. The issue with that is, for example, a lot of the parental control solutions where you have web filtering at service provider level can easily be circumvented when children use, encrypted browsers. And I'll explain what I mean by encrypted. They are sort of secure browsers in that they encrypt data traffic so that you can have a faster web browsing experience. One of those browsers, for example, is Opera Mini.
Okay.
It's a fantastic mobile browser, but eats right through the parental control
controls.
solutions. Yeah. So really the only solution from what we have, based on our experience, is to have an on-device software installed on a tablet or a mobile phone that a parent can manage.
So parents can purchase this online software,
Yes.
and they can install it at home and make it operate on various devices, across
Correct.
various devices, but they retain access to the dashboard
That's right.
that tells them what the child is doing on every single device that they have at their disposal.
So you can log into your parent dashboard, you can have your family's devices, Mary's iPad, John's Galaxy S4, whatever it may be, and you can literally click on those devices, manage the settings, what web content can be accessed, what applications can be used, how your child is using the device. You can put the device on a time schedule, you know,
that's important
to allow the
because
specific child.
Children are often doing homework now on a tablet.
Exactly.
Or on a laptop. Yeah. And often parents say to me, but how do I know whether my child is gaming or actually doing homework?
That's right.
Okay, so that's really an important thing that parents need to do.
And, you know, we have a lot of parents say, my child is not concentrating at school because they're up till all hours of the morning sitting on chat applications or on the internet. So we can encourage responsible usage for those to be used, you know, within appropriate times. You know, so during homework time, where they don't need to be using the tablet, you can block the usage of the tablet, for example, Monday to Friday, and then allow it on weekends or after, say, 8 o'clock at night, you can block the device.
There's also something else that the VirtueNet software allows, and that is fencing.
Yes.
And you know where your child is depending on...
And this is an absolutely critical feature. Just sort of, a lot of parents will say to me, well, a lot of what VirtueNet has, you can sort of find in this application and that application, but it's all piecemeal. And your average, you know, I talk to a lot of parents and I said to the one parent, you know, you need to download such and such app from the Google Play Store for your Android device. He said, you might as well be talking hieroglyphics.
It's so just a bridge too far.
So we understand you need one solution, one piece of software that can do everything. And really, that is so important to just really set those technology boundaries.
So you are basically enabling parents to be the administrator.
That's right.
Of all technological devices in the family.
That's right.
Which means they have a handle on what's going on. And I think what we're trying to do with children today is to install this kind of software from the time they get their first device.
That's right.
Not when they're 16 and they're on their 10th device.
That's right.
And then children get used to the fact that you're around, you're in that space, you're keeping an eye on them. Unless they do something stupid that calls for you to intervene, you're not going to intervene. But it just gives you that overview of what they're doing out there, how they're doing it, who they're interacting.
It's accountability is a good word, you know.
That's really a nice one. So responsible use and then accountability. Are there any particular topics or trends that parents should be aware of at the moment that have reared their heads?
Well, certainly, you know, apart from exposure to harmful web content, we know from studies done by the Film and Publications Board throughout schools in South Africa that despite parents who trust their children, we understand that, you know, children can put in innocent sounding keywords into a search engine and land up in the darkest corner of the internet, you know. So there's, you know, they pass website addresses amongst each other. Up to 70% of children admitted they hide their online activities from their parents, you know, using private web browsers or deleting web history and things like that. And incognito mode on certain browsers. You
also mentioned something earlier to me when we were chatting before the show, that when parents buy their children a new mobile device, they often leave the old devices in the child's hand as well. So children are sitting with 2 or 3 different devices, and that is a problem, isn't it?
That's right. So certainly my advice would be, if you buy your child a new smartphone, take the old one away, lock it in a safe, you know, and unless that phone breaks, you know, make sure they have one phone at a time so that you only have to manage one device.
Yes.
Very important.
Thank you, Mark, for giving us a wake-up call to take action and not leave our children's online safety to chance. We need to ensure that our children are able to navigate the information superhighway safely so that they can benefit from it while being protected from its potential dangers. For links to what was discussed on the show today and how to connect with VirtueNet, visit www.NikkiBushtv.com and click on the NikkiBushtv tab. On that note, I dare you to go and change the world, one parent, one teacher, one leader at a time.